I realized the moment I fell into the fissure that the book would not be destroyed as I had planned. It continued falling into that starry expanse of which I had only a fleeting glimpse. I've tried to speculate where it might have landed. I must admit, however, such conjecture is futile. Still, questions about whose hands might one day hold my MYST book are unsettling to me. I know my apprehensions might never be allayed, and so I close, realizing that perhaps the ending has not yet been written.
This is going to be a different series altogether. This is a very special game for me, and it's probably one of the most basic games you'll ever know about. Side note from that, if you have heard of this game, it's probably not in good light. It's probably one of the cheesier games of the 90s. It's probably one of the more basic, comprehensive idea of point and click, that, you know, we think of it as today as something that's immersive and the worlds are immersive and all that. It wasn't always the case, you know. Even before this, you have games like Shadowgate. Shadowgate is a very, very good point and click game for back in the day. But there were games just like that that were coming out in like the late 80s, early 90s. And Rand Miller and his brother decided to go above and beyond and try to make a game that was never done before in 1994, 95. But they worked on this for like a solid 4 or 5 years at the turn of the 80s, 90s era. So yes, it is a little dated in graphic form, but as in plot form, it still holds true of imagination and wonder of, you know, the world that you're in. Now, I say this is a different series / episode, because this isn't going to be a regular run-of-the-mill walkthrough, let's play. I don't know what I do at this point. I don't know if this is a walkthrough or if this is going to be a let's play, because I'm literally playing it. But I'm not, in a matter of sense, I will go walk through step by step, but I'm not doing this to give you guys any hints or anything. If you play it, then cool. By all means, play it. This is a very different game for me. There are very few games that I played with my mom growing up. And I've already been through some of the ringer, some Zelda, and you know, there's Metroid and Sonic. Sonic is a big one. Kirby's a big one. But this game in particular, I was a young lad in 5th grade, and more like 4th and 5th grade. You know what I mean? Like late 90s. I'm dating myself at this fucking point. But this is a very wholesome game that me and my mom would play almost on the regular, almost like on the week. When I would come home from school, we would sit down and play this. If we had a free time and on the weekend, we would play this. This is a very long. It's a very long intro. It's a very long intro. I haven't played this game in a better part of, was it 2024? Better part of 24 years, to be honest. To be perfectly honest, I haven't played this game in at least 2 decades. At least 2 decades. I've played the sequels, Riven Riven is a very good sequel to this. It's this, but in times 5. Like, I'm not gonna spoil it, but if you think this is immersive with different places to go, Riven is that, but on a grand scale. But starting with MYST is one continent, one idea, split into 4 ideas, you know? So, like, you have games within game. You have a game within a game, you know what I mean? You have a world within a world that you're about to step into. This is one of the very few games I have a very good tie to my mom with. She was the first gamer in my life, and she was the first person that gave me the idea of playing video games on a positive note, you know? So, without further ado, I'd like you to take a journey with me through the land of MYST, and just come on a journey with me, you know? Just sit back, you know, smoke your shit, drink your beer, whatever, but like real person to person here. If you really watch my content, if you like my content, if you like anything that I do, this series is one of the ones that I'm going to have a different time with. We'll delve into stories, and we may cry, we may laugh, but it's going to be a different time with this. It's going to be a slow burn. So get cozy and smoke them if you got them, because you know why we're here. So you can already see that it's immersive by you're looking at a book and you have to go in. So let's go. Just the opening scene, man. That makes it. Now, mind you, this used to be really good graphics back in the day. Not so much in these standards, but it's interesting to see where we came from. Now, you can go down here. One of the first things you can check out. And mind you, this game does not tell you anything to do. It's already pointing you in a direction of wonder. The lighting is so cool. Oh. The lighting is so aesthetically pleasing. Like, the lights were placed in a very particular way to give an essence of the 3D world. Now you can interact with this button here to do stuff with this water. I tend to skip this not because I already know what's happening, but it doesn't really do anything. So right now it's on water turbulent pool. But there's a certain secret number you can put in here. I do not know it offhand. But I'll try, I think 40 is the first number. Man, I forgot how stressful loading screens were. Jesus. I guess 40 wasn't it. You can put numbers in that, and it comes up. There's a secret message with that secret number that you can hear and listen back to. There's another number. Ooh, I guess it did work. Okay, it fucking worked. This is the topographical map of nothing in particular. It's just a test, apparently. Like, this isn't in the game. None of that is in any of the ages in this game. Actually, if I remember, let me see it. Let me test it. I think it corresponds to how many switches there are on the island. Is there 8? I'm not even looking this up. Man. Yes! It fucking worked!
Catherine, my love, I have to leave quickly. Something terrible has happened. It's hard for me to believe. Most of my books have been destroyed. Catherine, it's one of our sons. I suspect Achenar, but I shouldn't leap to conclusions. I'll find him and Cirrus as well. Oh, I should have known better than to have left my library unchecked for so long. Well, I've removed the remaining undamaged books from the library and placed them in their places of protection. You shouldn't have to use the books until I return. But if you've forgotten the access keys, remember the tower rotation. Oh, and don't worry, Catherine. Everything will be fine. I'll see you shortly. Oh, wait, and erase this message after you viewed it, just to be safe.
So, that was the main character and creator of this island. His name fleets me right now, but we'll learn of his name in a second. But that was a secret message to Catherine, his, I believe, wife, not girlfriend, wife. And they've been separated. So right now you already have a plot. Like you don't know a damn thing, but all you know is now either you're Catherine or you're somebody else. And you later find out you're not Catherine. Spoiler alert. Oh no. This game, by the way, this game came out in '95, so there's no spoiler alerts here. I don't give a shit. If you don't want to know what happens in the game, then play the game yourself. Just saying. Oh, but look at that. Look at that animation. There's seagulls in the corner. I've never seen that. So this is a switch. We're just going to turn the switch on. So you go up these steps, and there's this piece of paper. Arduous, right? Arduous? Arduous? Man, it's all fucked up. Artemis? Arduous. Let's just call him Arduous, whatever. Left a message. Oh, so we already did it. We literally did it. Enter the number of marker switches on the island. So I didn't even pick up this piece of paper and I already knew it. So that's a great start. So left a message. You already heard it. So, and the different perspectives you get too when you look backwards. It's not just a front-facing game. Like when you retrace your steps, it looks just as good. Like that's where you just started, on the dock. That's nuts. That's nuts. I don't know. Either that or I like the game too much. I'm just gushing. Now you can't do anything here yet, besides flip the switch. But this is the observatory tower, and it gives you a perspective for you to go up to give you a better glimpse of what's around you. This is the observatory tower, and this is the observatory station, and this is the library that we'll come to that leads into here. All right, so the first thing we can check out is this building, but until you know what to do, it's not going to make sense. It just looks cool. Switch. Thank you. We'll come back to this. You're going to like this place, but we don't have the necessary information to go in there. So this is the library. So this is the central hub for most of this game. In particular, where you get your information from. Now, as Arduous has said, most of these books are burned, like a good majority of them. But you can already tell that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's 4. Dude. But there is a hidden book somewhere in here. This is more out of curiosity than actuality. But I don't know where it is. There's one in particular that has certain information on it. I'm not going to look at it right now, but this is where you get most of your information. Just went down a fucking rabbit hole. So, these paintings do different things. And we encounter our first red book. The paintings do something for the room. This is a map of the island that you're on right now. And since we lifted up the switches, we can already tell the different areas that it's unlocked already. And there's more to unlock. But since we're here, we might as well go into rotation for where we just started. You're literally moving the tower from this painting. It's crazy. Yeah. This game's about that. About that hidden secret compartment all the way to an already working elevator in the middle of a mountain. It's crazy. So, might as well tell you a little bit of the lore while we have some time here. Alright, so I purposely disregarded the pink book for a little obvious reason. So, let me give you a little bit of a backstory here. The main character that you just saw earlier in the game, him and Catherine, they had kids. Go figure. So they had 2 kids. And they grew up with their dad writing a bunch of books and writing a bunch of worlds, right? And connecting different worlds. These worlds had civilizations, right? Different civilizations, languages, right? So eventually, both sons want to be part of this, right? So they start mingling themselves into his worlds, their dad's civilizations, right? So since we're not playing Riven, I'm not going to give you the whole spiel of what happens. I'd rather play the game and tell you guys. But in a nutshell, both brothers were horrible, horrible, horrible people to many different things and many different people and civilizations. So their dad is getting hip to it and is trying to correct it, is trying to course correct things. As well as this is going on, Catherine, another spoiler alert, has been kidnapped. So that isn't a completely different game, but that ends up being part of the plot too. So there's technically two plots going on. Is Arduous and Catherine are separated, right? As well as the two brothers are also now separated by the father. He has done this specifically. So those two books, Pink and Blue, the other one's Blue. Those two books, he has imprisoned both of his sons in those books. Wrap your head around that, of what I just said. All those things I just said. He's imprisoned them in those books. So now you stumbled across this world, this island, and you have no idea what to do. So you're literally just trying to find breadcrumbs to a plot you have no idea. That's what's going on. Case in point, here. Back to the game. So here you get to see exactly where you started. Roughly around there. Maybe a little bit behind there, but this is where you started. So what that does... Damn it. The key. Now these are correspondence that you can put into this little computer device in that observatory area. Remember that place that we went by that we didn't have the information? This is the information. They got it down to the aesthetic of the sounds and the lighting. It makes you really feel like you're alone, you know? There's no music. At least on certain parts of the island, there's absolutely no music until certain areas. Then you kind of have music, or you kind of have some ambiance. And here we are. We have the blue page, the blue book. As I said, both Pink and Blue, those are the brothers. Those are the brothers. Each one of those pages you put into these books completes the book. You know what I mean? And they give you messages. You can go up to the book and listen to their broken messages. It's all static, but each page makes it more and more clear. Blah 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 blah. And I'll talk about that later of why I don't want to do that, because there's only 3 ways of beating this game, and only one is the real one. So that should give you a blatant fucking hint right there. So to bring that back, we just hit that painting here. Oh, man. Loading screens and cutscenes. I like the cutscenes in this game. The cutscenes are fucking badass. And there's a fireplace. I will talk about that later. That's going to be a later point. Has no bearing on what we're doing right now. From that information that we just got from the observatory tower, let's go to the observatory. One of my favorite areas. You'll know why. Seems ordinary. Doesn't seem like you can do much, you know. Sit in this chair. It's a white system there. There's nothing. Until you hit the button. This is some of the most calming areas of the game. And it exists for only one reason. Look at that, man. Look at that. You can look right up and see the starry expanse. Now let's take a second. Let's take a couple of seconds and just admire that this screen exists. Now I took it upon myself to take pictures of these of the ideas, or the correspondence, I should say. What we used to do back in the day is write this down on notepad. I mean, you can still write it on notepads. What am I saying? They still exist. Paper still exists. But the old way of doing it was to write things down and come back to it later. Like me and my mom had a book. It wasn't that big, but it was a pretty decent size info book for different things of this game. So let's go through October 11th, 1984. Look at that. Just pops right up. Give me October 11th, 1984. Oh. At 10:04 a.m. And you just hit this button, and it gives you a starry constellation, which is nice. So I'm going to take a picture of this and the rest of them. And that's literally the only time you need this room. That's it. So with that information, right, you go back into here, and you go to these books. It should be in one of these books. This might be the one. This might be the one. Yep, this is the one. Lamp. Love lamp. This is the overview map of one of the ages we are going to go in. So, there we go. There's a connection. The constellations are actually corresponding symbols, right? Snake is one of them. Maple leaf is one of them. Oh, spider. Leaf, spider, snake. Leaf, spider, snake. Cool. Now, what is the relevance of this, you're asking? Or you're not asking. It doesn't matter if you are. I'm asking. Yeah, so what is that good for? All those things. So what we're looking for is these things. These little boxes, right? And they have a little corresponding thing of a sunken ship. Can you think of any other place where there's a sunken ship? I'll give you a hint. We just came from there. Duh. Switch. That was a little late, but a little tardy to the party, but you made it. Gosh, these loading screens. So each one of these boxes have different symbols on them. We're going to choose this for obvious reasons. Now, where is the snake? That's not one of them. Spider. Aha, maybe? Is this one? Yep, there it is. Now the animation isn't happening. Just imagine that boat lifting. Just imagine it. It happened. It happened. I want to explore just a little bit here before we get going. So this place right here, switch. This place right here is a connector puzzle to that spaceship that we saw earlier. It's a connector to that. Nice. So what you're supposed to do here is hit these buttons to give it enough power to power the spaceship, and you can't go over power on either one. So it's an interesting puzzle, but we shall do that later. Switch. This one's a little bit different. Again, I'm not going to try it just yet, but this one's definitely different. This has a significance, as well as this connected with this has a significance. Also, there's a safe. We'll figure that out. Last but not least, we got the random clock out of the end here that has something to do with these valves here. But we do not know what to do with them yet. Now, as you might wonder, with this gear here is the exact same type of gear from the beginning. So, does it connect? Do. Maybe it does. This is another age you can go to. Switch. We're about to go to our first age here. It's exciting, because up until this point, you think that you're just on this island here. You would be mistaken. Mistaken. Oh, go down. There we go. See? Crazy that puzzle just opened up this puzzle where... Though it's weird. It's awesome world building. It's crazy good world building. I don't know. I can't go back there. Can I turn around? No. Okay. Just a chair with a book. Yes. And here is the preview. Just a bunch of rocks, man. Bunch of rocks and ocean. Alright. Hell yeah. And here we are. I forgot what this age was called. I'll probably put it up in the corner or something somewhere. But this is like the first one that you can do that gets you ready for everything. Um, Puzzle, world building, and you learn more about the brothers. You learn more about Archewis. You learn more about Catherine. But I can't wait to get into this. It's a really, really deep to my soul of how much appreciation I have for this game. It's amazing. Anyway, I'll end this here. When we come back, we'll tackle this age and find out how to get out of here and back to MYST, and then on to another one. Till then, peace.